back to another episode of Boys Love Not Me. This week we are recapping episode 13, the penultimate episode of the series. As always, I'm Adam.
And I'm RJ. Welcome back.
Welcome back, bitch.
Well, this is the last bit of joy we're gonna have. Is just the intro of the episode.
Yeah.
Because this is bleak.
And it's funny, we always get the gmmtv penultimate. What is that supposed to be?
I'm working on my obliques. Because you're supposed to like... I'm so sorry. There was so sorry. 1 second. Just 1 second. Sorry. There was so much moaning in Secret Crush on You. They were
on
like...
their penultimate episode?
It's like Zhao and Sky are like getting there. Okay, they're going there.
I'm shocked that the Twitch didn't shut you down.
And it was like fully like, and I was like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Really feeling the fantasy over there.
Well, and that was the thing. So we watched this. We watched this episode this week for Not Me. We watched episode 4 of Kin Porsche,
which is the everyone.
Oh, it's everybody's favorite.
Everyone's got.
Okay,
everybody's talking about episode 4.
Everybody's talking about episode 4. We watched that, and then I was like, oh, thank God we're watching Secret Crush on You because like there's nothing heavy here. There's nothing going on, and then we fully got like basically eating disorder storyline that I was like, oh, I don't know if we're handling this well, and they weren't. So that Saturday I'm starting Sweet Tooth Good Dentist, and I need that. Yeah, I need that sweet tooth, and I need that good dentist.
And you need that good dentist.
I think I should eat something sweet each time. I think I should have like a sweet treat each time I watch it.
And then diabetes by the end of the
I was just a nice little bout of diabetes. I have no more jokes after this. I think if you got to episode 13 of this recap series, I think you figured out what's going on here. Yeah. The plan is they give the photos to Dan of the drugs in the IBM fax machines or whatever.
Yeah. You tip your team off.
Tip the team. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. I'm not gonna say any more. I'm not gonna say any more than that. Just sigh. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Dan's gonna pass his photos off to his cop team. We're out of cards. Okay. So I'm using my Ghost 9 4th anniversary debut clipboard. Okay. Suffer. So he's gonna pass his photos off to the cops. But they think that there for sure is a rat. So then
it'll be their way to find out who the rat is.
It'll be the tip off will be instigate not only the like, oh well, we're definitely gonna go search his place, but also somebody at the precinct's gonna find out and then alert Towie so that he can get his drugs out of there before they get there. Yeah. Okay. Just so we were clear on why
they're doing this. Yeah.
Sean still doesn't trust Dan. That could be because he killed his father. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but
jury's still out.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's what I would.
I don't think that. Well, that's the thing is there's no juries because it was an extrajudicial murder. There wasn't a jury involved.
If it's an extrajudicial murder, there was too much jury, isn't it?
There was so much. There was so much.
It's like
Judas.
Oh, I came in with extra juries.
Judas Bloom.
Judith Bloom.
Judas. Judicial.
What's her actual name?
Judy Bloom.
Oh, okay.
Icon Queen Legend.
And
don't tell me she's like, you know what? I've had enough of writers, beloved writers, being.
Which one is she? Junie B. Jones?
Oh, all those, so many we do not mention.
I don't even know a single Bloom.
Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. Isn't that Judy Bloom?
That's not Margaret?
No, that's not Margaret. Hamilton. By the way, if you know who Margaret Hamilton is off the top of your head,
you get a free
year. You are a gay man.
Oh, I was gonna say you.
No, we're not.
No, we're not giving out free.
That's these people.
The people who made us watch the show.
Yeah. Hello, Yok and First are finally left alone, right? And there because there's some Dan still
Yok
feels
is first.
Sorry.
Yok and
Dan, Yok
finally
and,
come
and
together.
First come together.
Come together. Yeah.
Yok and Dan get left alone, and Dan is still, I would say, harbors a lot of guilt about just telling.
Yes.
Sean.
It's like I'm still harboring a lot of guilt because I don't think I should get scot-free, but also this might be the last time you see me in a while, because if I go back to the police and like tip them off, who knows what could happen.
Right.
So we might not be able to see each other again.
I love this scene. So this scene is there is this thing about Yok's character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way his character progresses through the show is so incredible. And the way they set him up, especially in this episode for what happens later, is so incredibly heartbreaking that it's one of the hardest things I've watched, for sure, in the show.
Yeah.
They have this beautiful story, and it's weird because I would not say like Yok is one of the most optimistic characters.
No, but he really is the romantic lead.
He's the romantic.
He's a
romantic.
Yes, he is a romantic.
Yeah.
He just believes that there is goodness in people.
He is a realist in that he recognizes the
pressures that people feel.
Yes, of course.
In what situations they're in.
But
I mean,
also
he lives.
That there is like a genuine. I don't even want to say goodness in people, but that there is like a true beauty.
People know what the
that you can like find beneath the surface.
Yes, yeah.
He first plays it so well, and I've only watched him in this and Only Friends, and obviously those two characters probably couldn't be more different, but he's just the energy is so incredibly shifted from that character to Sand. God, I was like,
what's his name?
There's so many names. There's too many names. Yok has these tattoos of birds on his arm, and then like he lays on Dan in this really like tender, intimate moment. And they actually focus the shot at first on the tattoo and then like position to his face. And I was like, I don't know what it means. Right? It could be nothing. It could genuinely not just have been like they were moving the camera and it was what it was. But to me in that moment, I was like, he is the bird. He is the bird of the group that's like able to like push through and like try to soar above, not soar above in a way that he's not part of it, but like he has this.
He has a sense of freedom that other people don't.
Yes,
have.
He is not burdened and like bogged down by this, and I think that's why I resonate with his character so much.
I think he is the optimistic one. I mean, it doesn't. I think because he has the love interest, that's where it's showing that, like, there's good. The optimism is coming through because I can see past what kind of keeps us apart because I'm able to have a relationship.
But then him being like held was the duality of both the visual of the like soaring birds, but also the like. Be like the tender I couldn't so they also have a plan to Dan will take him to his parents, his family. He's gonna like go back home and y'all can come with him out in the rural juror. That happens. There's this transition shot that I really liked and I wanted to talk about because I feel like often in BLs there is this like, I think just in most media when you're really not trying to show what most people would consider like the dirtiness of the world. Obviously this show is like very much interested in showing that. The transition shots, the to get us into like the next scene or whatever, it'll just be like a building on a beautiful summer
skyline,
day. If it's raining, it'll be raining. But it's always like gorgeous, beautiful. The sky couldn't be more perfect. These shots, right? The transition shot into the scene of the protest is the smoggiest Bangkok day I have ever seen. And I was like, oh my God, they like specifically chose to highlight that this is
just a normal
it's
day.
everything, right?
Yeah.
It's not just, right? There was no smog before the Industrial Revolution. There probably was. You can let me know. It's fine. But
before
it
industrialization,
it was like another visual reaffirmation of like
just say talk
of like the world,
reiterating
everything is bad.
Yeah,
it's not just like, oh, we're all mad because like he has money. Like it's like the world is causing.
Yes, it's causing the whole city
in the ozone. It's causing the hole in the ozone layer,
girl,
mama.
Isn't that crazy? We regrew the ozone.
We did that. You and I. Together.
We said turn off your AC.
That was
turn off
not
hairspray.
It was not really that either, but okay.
We were like, Aquanet is done.
For sure, that happened. That definitely did happen.
We stopped Aquanet. We stopped that one thing that was in air conditioning.
Aerosol. Okay.
It was. There was something in air conditioning units, wasn't there?
No.
Yes, there was, Adam.
No, it was
CFCs coming out of the AC units.
Chlorofluorocarbons is what you're searching for. Yeah. I don't believe there was an AC. I know there wasn't like aerosolized products.
Yeah.
That was like a really big one that they got rid of. I'm sure there were a bunch of places chlorofluorocarbons were happening.
Okay, girl.
I don't think it was AC.
Chlorofluorocarbon?
Oh, coming to the stage, the incomparable. Get on it.
I just remember there was a big push. I remember the episode of Rocko's Modern Life where we had to learn about recycling and the ozone layer. And like back in the day, like early 2000s Nickelodeon, they would show like little, like basically like Disney 411, like that, those little like interstitial commercial type mini series or whatever, and it was about like people doing their part. Doing their part to stop the CFCs.
I also remember there being like a big like acid rain.
Oh my God!
And I still don't know what the fuck acid rain. Is it happening? Did it stop happening? Were we just worried about it and we don't need to worry anymore?
I was always told like, yeah, don't drink the rainwater. You don't do the Drew Barrymore and don't go out. And if you ever is the rain, do not do so. Because of acid rain.
Because of acid rain.
But I don't know if that's also because I lived in a developing country at the time.
Well, wouldn't that be where the acid rain was happening?
Is it?
A developing country where it rains every day?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it was happening in the Midwest.
Yeah, where's the acid coming from?
Whose acid is it? Acid Betty.
Speaking of Aquanet.
This is gay brain rot.
Aquanet,
Look
honey.
at this.
Yeah.
Brain rot. Should we move on to my fifth note of the episode?
The girls are back.
The literal girls are back. Eugene is at the protest. There's a protest happening, obviously, outside of Towie's building. One of the many properties. And Eugene is there. She sees Namo is there. And they have a conversation. Namo has now like put aside her, hobby of murals.
And is now doing protest art. Sure.
This, I think, will tie in later to something that I think is very interesting about this episode. Okay. But that's important to remember.
Towie like drives in and they all like try to stop him from going out of his car.
It's very like World War Z energy, a movie I've never seen, by the way.
And then from inside the car, we get Towie's perspective, and he's like, no, they have the right to protest, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Let's just go.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was weird. But it was funny, in that shot, you can see in the back of the car, Namo and Eugene just like
I don't like scenes like this. It happens more in like movies about celebrities where there'll be like a bunch of people like on the car.
Yeah,
it actually gives me anxiety.
There's this one clip, I think it was from my vlog, but NCT Jaehyun, I think it's in some fashion week or whatever, but it's from the inside. It's a vlog, and he goes, to the driver, he's like, "Excuse me, may I open the window?" And the driver's like, "What?" And he's like, "May I open the window? Is it okay if I open the window?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you." He opens the window, and as soon as it opens, it's just like, because everyone in line realizing that it's Jaehyun.
Graham has a scene with Eugene where it's kind of almost
it's
feels
almost like the scene with Black. Exactly, where it's like, I might do something really dangerous.
But Black made the executive decision for the relationship that he was like going to step away from it. Whereas Graham is more, I think really what you're supposed to realize is that he sees it more as a partnership, right? He's warning her, but he's not like, we should be over because of it.
Yeah.
There is a level of like, they're all treating her with kid gloves.
Yes.
Like she doesn't know what's going on.
And she's kind of like put up with it. She's like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's very obvious.
Yeah. I don't know if I loved this. I don't know if I loved the take on her energy for this scene, because she was like, and I was like, okay, but if you do know that it's dangerous, I feel like your energy wouldn't be like, oh my God, crazy.
I know what you guys are doing.
But maybe she doesn't really think it's that dangerous.
She doesn't know to the extent of danger.
Yeah.
She probably just thinks, oh, you're just gonna like.
I mean, they're doing something dangerous, but like protesting out.
Well,
like
that's
this.
the thing. I wonder if she is just for more of like she's just like them, but like before things got out of hand, before when it like got really scary.
Yeah,
because that's the vibe that I get. She's like, I know, like, I know what you guys do. This is what we all do, and I think Graham's trying to like not say
we're making Molotov cocktails. God bless you. Should we talk about the Suzuki ads of it all?
It was a little heavy here, but I think it's because they knew they weren't going to be brushing teeth or drinking soda, anime boy soda.
Is there a cognitive dissonance
with the PPLs?
With the theme of the show and the PPLs? Do you think it weakens the show? I would not say my problem with the show is the PPL, by the way.
No. I
recognize it more, I think, in this show, because the show itself is about kind of
Okay, so here, what do you think of this? Because there was comments last week of like, well, that's unintentional camp. Like, because they don't know, you know, they're like so trying to be serious about it that it comes off as an intentional camp.
Yeah.
But then I would say that's still not comedy, because like the comedy is an after effect to us watching the media, right?
It's not a purposeful comedy.
Not a purposeful comedy to help lighten the mood.
Susan Sontag once said,
notes on camp. That to me feels like the PPL situation, where it's like they're so focused on like, well, we still have to do the BL stuff, the GMMTV BL things. We do the PPL, blah, 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 blah. So there is the dissonance of like, oh, the act of doing the PPL does not fit with the rest of the show.
I just watched Love in Translation.
Yes, they have PPL.
They had a whole scene. They had two
scenes of learning how to use an app.
Of using two different apps.
Yes, one for a camera and one for like their Amazon.
That's
basically.
Probably the worst product placement I've ever seen.
But at least for them.
Worse than vice versa.
But the thing that I liked about theirs is that it played like a scene.
Well, I think there was
like music. They were like, oh, wow, that's so... I don't know.
There's something about...
That feels like intentional, that like we're making it look like it's campy. It's like part of the experience.
But those are the classic like BLs where it's like the world is made of plastic.
Yes,
nothing
the world
about
is
this
PPL.
Real.
There is PPL around
Yeah,
this.
but also like... I believe that you're having this conversation because I believe that this is a show that I'm watching. I know the show isn't meta, but there's just something about it that I'm like, oh, it's because what it is. It's like the show is so embedded in the classic tropes of specifically Thai BL that I accept that is a thing that is going to happen. And so when it happens, I'm either like indifferent toward it or I'm like charmed by the fact that I'm like, oh, it's one of the like markers that I'm watching a BL. Yeah. So it's very comforting. This sounds crazy. People are going to there's going to be a person writing a dissertation for a doctorate and clip this part of me talking and be like, capitalism is destroying people's minds and turning them to jello. I don't understand. There is a part of it that when PPL happens in shows like that are specifically so classic BL coded.
Yes.
That I'm like, oh, isn't
the
that
sheen,
nice?
the
the kind of like silliness of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? The unintentional camp.
The intentional
With this
camp.
show, because it's so trying to be so incredibly grounded and natural, and I really do think a lot of it is extremely successful in what it's aiming to do and finding the beauty in those natural moments. I wish they could incorporate the PPL, because I feel like they could do a better job of matching it to the tone of the show, but they just don't. I feel like, I don't know if they because I don't know what contracts are, right? I don't know if it's like there needs to be a certain amount of time on screen that the logo has to show up. I don't know if there's like certain features that they have to.
But because they do the actual commercial breaks.
I know.
That's why I'm like, do you still need to then show that he's using the toothpaste?
But I think like it's probably a different level of actual like funding, right?
Contractual,
like
yeah.
If you just have the commercial,
it's one thing. But then
it's
if
like
you
we give you $20. If you incorporate it into the show as well,
if you put the Canon printer in there,
because like, I will be honest, I had never in my life been like, when I go to Thailand at some point, I want to get KFC. And then I saw characters eating KFC in a BL, not just like the ad, but like in a BL. And I was like, I want to go to Thailand and get KFC.
I mean, we were this close in being like, should we try Subway in South Korea?
Oh, true. Yeah. It's the
we
same,
we thought about
idea.
it, you know?
Yeah.
We're like,
Yeah.
I do know that like
Spaghetti Station or whatever was in Love in Translation. Do you remember that one?
Texas Chicken.
Sure. That was my school
churches,
president.
Yeah. I know since we watched Only Friends and there was no product placement in that one.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there was like I remember the discourse during that. Well, we were recapping it. I remember someone in the comments saying like it was like a trade-off. Like they got to do there are shows that are done that are so shellacked on product placement. It's more of a comedy. So that way they can do the shows like
it can balance out the shows.
It can be, there's funding to do a show where there isn't any PPL. Yeah. And it can just be commercials.
I mean, Vice Versa was probably the most egregious because it was every single part of an episode had.
They proposed through Lay's potato chips.
They proposed to each other through Lay's
Spoiler
potato chips.
to Vice Versa.
Spoiler alert, Jimmy C do end up together at the end of Vice Versa. You'll be shocked to find out.
But what I do know is that because Not Me is like early, that I wonder if they weren't able to do those trade-offs quite as sophisticated now as you do in shows now, where it's like you'll get an Only Friends, you'll get a Cherry Magic where it's like little to no PPL.
Yeah.
And then the trade-off is you get a Cooking Crush where it's like, look at a full grocery store ad, you know? So I wonder if it's like that.
I mean, I would still go back and say like my biggest problem with this show is not the PPL.
No. It's the fact that they do it.
But it is, I am more aware of it than I think I would normally be.
Because the show is literally about capitalism. So it's like...
It's definitely about like corporations for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not a good look for Miss Suzuki.
Yeah. Should we take a break? There is a scene where White and Sean go to the rooftop so that they're going to spy on the warehouse to see when they start moving trucks in and out, because that's definitely when they're going to start taking stuff. Mm-hmm. And I liked this moment where White and Sean kind of have this conversation about being like, what are we going to do after the mission? What is our life after this? Looking ahead to the future. Yeah. They are definitely the most like, they're in love and they're going to be each other's soulmates.
They're going to be together.
I mean, it's like, I feel that so strongly about them. There's sometimes you'll watch a BL and you'll be like, oh, they're breaking up the next week after this show ends. Like
or that you don't
next
see
episode
you don't
right
see
after
a relationship afterwards. Like it's like
yeah. It's like what? Sure, Jan.
Sean and Wyatt are going to be
They're
together.
dying together for sure. Now, could be
could
next
happen
episode.
next
I don't know what's
week.
going on. But I don't think so. That's my guess, is that they're not going to die. But they are like, that's for life.
Yeah.
Okay? So I like that they had this moment of like the future. But then I thought what was really interesting was that they still tied it back to like the whole thesis of the show, which is like about how much are you able to give yourself to a cause without like sacrificing who you are.
Yeah.
Right? Which is like kind of become Black's downfall, is they say that they're going to take turns fighting and resting, but then they also like, they show and tell, because then they have each other, like both of them are watching and rest. Like,
yes,
they're taking turns actually doing
leaning
the thing.
on each other. Yeah.
But metaphorically, they will be working to fight
Together.
against injustices together forever.
Yeah.
Isn't
that, I mean, if you find your calling,
it's so good.
And then you find someone that also wants to do it with you and like also feels the same.
And support, and like it's the support, like that's what you have to have, is the support system. You have to have time for yourself, and like you can't give 100% of it, because there is always going to be a need for rectifying injustice, simply because it doesn't
inherent. Go away.
Justice is not like it is not just like
you don't just solve it.
A natural thing that occurs all the time. You have to fight for it. And so like the idea of recognizing that like once we do this thing, we can like take a break, but then we'll get back into like it's so healthy for a show that is talking to a specific group of people, being like,
you can keep going.
You can keep going, but it doesn't have to be everything.
Yeah, it's not playing it as like after this, then it's done and someone has to learn the lesson. Oh no, like injustice keeps happening. They are aware that's what it is. And they're just like, no, we are going to keep fighting because it does keep existing. And that's how we defeat it.
Yeah.
Is by not stopping. But we have to take care of ourselves.
Never stop stopping.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have to take care of ourselves and like take rests in between.
So they see that the trucks are moving.
So they start moving.
They take the truck.
They take a truck. I don't even have to take. They take the truck.
The main four.
They take
Sean, Graham,
Big Four take the truck.
White, Yok. Take the truck. They're going down the road. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Black goes to pay his friend Todd a visit. Okay.
He's coming to kill Todd.
Let's talk about this sequence.
Yeah, in essence, he catches Todd. They try to kill each other.
They do not succeed.
They do not succeed.
To the best of our knowledge.
We don't know what happens. But it kind of, there's a lot of going back and forth.
Fellas, is it gay to not kill the guy that you wanted to kill when you walked in? Because there's a charge.
Yeah, there is a charge
to the scene.
And they are playing it like, they've known each other all their life. Like, but then I'm still left to infer, bitch.
Yes. Well, I think this is going to wrap up in 14, and that's why.
I don't know. I don't think we're getting any sort of resolutions in 14.
Well, that's what I think is interesting about this.
We're not getting explanations.
I would be extremely surprised if they are able to neatly wrap this story up, because the show has just now recognized that not everything gets neatly wrapped up, and especially the ending of this episode is very like people's lives exist and then things happen and there's no control necessarily. So I will be shocked if like next week it's like, and here's the pretty little bow on top of
everyone's ending.
So we'll see. But I feel like we're gonna find, there's no way I'm just not gonna see Todd again unless we get a flashback to Black actually killing him
or something.
But I don't know. There's something real gay about those.
It's real gay because they just keep going back and then back and forth, and they try to kill each other. They point these guns, but then there's one point where Black's like, "Just do it, then kill me" or whatever, and Todd also like cries and says like, he can't. Yes, basically Todd is like, the shit that you and your friends are trying to do, whatever, if you don't succeed, I already have guys that are ready to kill Todd or Towie anyway.
But also, they're going to believe that you guys killed Towie because you've already been trying to do shit to him anyway, so.
It's a thing. So, I mean, I guess that is the explanation why Todd is doing all of it. Why Todd set Wyatt up for this.
Yeah. He also said that protesting will not change this country. Thoughts on that?
That is literally what people in power say in order to stay in power. That's literally.
Yeah.
I mean, like in essence, the power of protest is the only thing we can is the only thing that like we have control of and that we can do, and we should
let's take it from a Filipino. Let's say that, honey.
We did it twice, bitch.
We did it twice.
Yeah.
Something so good. We did it twice. What is it? What's the phrase? Something so good. That doesn't matter.
So nice you did it twice.
Yeah, so nice you did it twice.
And so it is just like a person that has fully convinced themselves that there is no other option but to go up. But it's also like, I was just talking to my friend who I had lunch with, who basically like worked in corporate all for like the past year, and she quit like a few months ago because she was like, I saw that people actively make the decision to be evil. Like to be like, oh no, I'm just gonna choose to like not give a shit about other people so that way I make more money.
Yeah.
And it's just, she was like, oh, I could see people making that choice.
Can I ask a real question? This is so off topic. I'm so sorry. Do you think Elon Musk is the way he is because he wants more? Isn't there at some point like
I think it's just like megalomania.
It stops being about money and
it's just like
turns into
pure power. Yeah, it's like, oh, I can be the king of the world.
Because like I truly believe I've thought about this, right? Yeah. And I've been like, I have not, luckily, like I have had steady employment all my adulthood, and like we've been together, so we've had like full income, and we've been very fortunate in like not having to struggle in a very specific way that a lot of people do, luckily. But obviously, like
we're not in the lap of luxury.
No,
but
not at all.
We've been able to like stay employed, stay working.
Yeah. I've thought about like, what if we suddenly made won the lottery, and I had enough, like, because
I win that scratch off, I get the Powerball,
and then people will be like, oh my god, and then taxes, and it's like, okay, sure, you win $1 billion, and then you get half of it, which is $500 million, okay, which is still more money than you would ever need, even if you were like, well, I'm only going to use $1 million a year, which is again
500 years.
So much money. I don't understand. I would like, I feel like I would just be like, and then I don't, what would you do? What do they do with it?
Money?
I mean, I know there's like, I don't understand like excessive
wealth. And then like, what?
Because like the idea to me of like these people who have like mansions that are like 24 rooms or whatever, I'm like, you don't even go in those rooms.
Those are just empty rooms to have.
You just own them to own them.
To own them, yeah.
And I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Can you make me a promise?
If we win the
lottery, if we won $1 billion, we would buy Haruto's contract.
Buy Haruto's contract, set him free,
or debut him, or make whatever he wants to do. We will fund it.
We will go to Mr. and Mrs. Maida and be like, we want to buy him we want to employ him, but he tells us what he wants to do, and we'll do it.
We'll just fund. Yeah. Patron of the arts.
Yeah.
Great. As long as we have that clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Their paths are different, but their intentions are the same.
Let's bow our heads and pray on that.
They both see that Towie is like bad.
Yes.
Which we already talked about.
Yeah.
Black is just like, it's all gotta go.
It's all gotta go. And Todd is like, he gotta go, so I can go up.
Right. I think there is, the more that
it's like a scavenger's way, right?
The more that like,
better him than me.
There's a rise of a certain brand of authoritarianism around the world. Do you know what I mean? I've wondered about like, do humans feel more comforted by the idea, not necessarily in actual fact, but the idea of one person in charge, because then like there's one person to take the fall if it goes wrong. Do you know what I mean? Because like there is like, and obviously we're so mired in the American nonsense of it all going on right now. But there is like there over time, Congress has like given more and more power to the executive branch. I'm very in the weeds on American politics right now, so I apologize if you do not care or do not know. That I wonder if like, because it's so easy to be like, well, that one person is the wrong or right, whichever way you prefer to look at it.
But it's just at least one person.
But at least it's one person, instead of being like, well, now it's like too complicated. There's so many people and you have to make a majority and it's so hard to like build a coalition and da-da-da. There's so much more work involved in like making party progress or like a communal thing than just being like, listen, we'll let you lead.
Yeah.
If we don't like your ideas, we'll throw you out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I just don't know if...
That's not the... Yeah.
I wonder if it's like a human innate thing to just have like... We'll all just look at one person.
Look at one person, yeah. Maybe.
Oh, God, that really makes me sad. That really bums me out, man.
But I mean, like, it feels very animalistic, right? To be like, there's a pack leader. But as humans, we have thought and reason. And so, like, you would think that the institutions that lead to like there are multiple an exchange of ideas, and in theory, I mean, like that's the ideal, right? Because you want everyone to be heard.
That's what we've been told. That's what we've been told.
But it's not. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And I understand, especially in American politics, it's the argument is the same every single time. Always. It's too slow. It's too slow. It's too slow.
It's purposefully slow.
It's because you want to make sure it's right.
Also, what we've been led to believe, I mean, we also banned all alcohol at one point in this country, so things can move fast. I don't know. I mean, like, there's no perfect system, so it's just like, I don't know. It's so messy. This show really makes you think.
It does.
Do you want to take a break?
Yeah. I'm thinking so hard that I need to take a break.
Okay.
To hear some PPL.
We
are open for PPL, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Don't, let's be clear.
We're not me.
No. We're not me. So the police, they're driving the truck away.
And there's a checkpoint.
There's a checkpoint. And so Sean immediated is like,
he lied.
So Dan sold us out.
He said there would not be. You said he cleared the route.
They had no... I just want to be so clear about this. God bless them for doing all this.
No second plan.
Not a single idea of a second plan.
Well, even on the way there, they were still arguing. Because Sean was like, let's pull this up in front of Towie's building. And everyone's like, there's a protest. If we pull up, they'll see that we drove this fucking... We'll get caught.
And there's drugs. And then
there's
you can't
drugs.
be
And yes,
whatever.
You can't just bring a truck of drugs to a bunch of people.
They just decide to blow through the checkpoint.
They blow through the checkpoint.
And by they, I mean Sean.
Yeah. But then when they're like, okay, let's just blow through. Graham's freaking out. Everyone's freaking out. But they're like, it's fine. We've already did it. Let's just pull up and run and see if we're being followed. They are followed, but it's by like...
Well, because they so White texts Gumpa. And he's like, we didn't. They know
there was a checkpoint.
There's a checkpoint. Police are for sure gonna follow us.
Yeah.
So Gumpa's like, I can meet you at this thing and get you out of here. They go to this place.
They try to escape.
It's just an open, empty field, basically.
They try to escape. They run away, but then they are being chased. But then they're not cops.
No, I do not know.
We still don't know who they are.
We do not. I would assume they're
Towie.
That was the energy they gave. Was Towie people. Based on what happens later in the episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Yok gets shot.
Yok gets shot in the chest? In the arm?
In the leg?
In the
something.
In the sternum.
In the sternum. Yeah, the side of his Sean does Sean does a distraction so that way the rest can escape, and then they all meet up. Gunpa ends up like being able to like get away car all of them.
Yeah.
And in the car, they're like, we have to go take him to the hospital right now. And it's like, well, if we take the hospital, we're gonna get caught, blah blah blah. But they decide no.
But this is what so I loved this moment because Graham really doesn't have a lot of moments to shine as a character.
And he like has a moment of we can't do this. No.
He has a moment of being like, we can't take him to the hospital because then we're all fucked. Mm-hmm. And then Sean is like, he's going to die. Your friend is going to die. Your friend will die.
That is more important now.
Yeah.
Which is not something Black would have said. It's not something what Sean with Black would have said. So it feels like that was the full circle we've come of like, this is now a new Sean.
Right. And Graham has the realization of being like, you're right, I have to... Yeah. We're in this together.
We were already going to get caught anyway.
We knew what the risks were. Yeah. But it's very different from like theoretical risks to being like, fuck, I'm for sure going to prison. Yeah. They go to the hospital. He's being taken care of. They managed to get him out. So I don't understand how they were able to... Well,
Gunpa was like, as soon as he...
is
awake and they healed the wound, they take the shot... we gotta run.
Yeah. They're trying to get him out. Two guys with guns and Dan come around the corner. Interestingly, he's not with cops.
Yeah.
Which I kind of didn't realize until halfway through the scene.
Yeah. You come to find out in flashbacks that Dan, once he came back and teed off the drugs and everything, he came back. He basically like gets pulled in as hostage into Techit's car. Techit takes him to some old man.
No explanation of who this man is. This man should have been Gunpa. I'll be honest, this man should have been Gunpa.
Should have been Gunpa.
Yeah.
And basically this old man is like, listen.
He played for...
This old man he played for.
Yeah, sorry. He played too. He played knick-knack on my shoe. Sorry.
He should have played Gunpa.
He played Gunpa.
He played knick-knack on my
rumpa. Oh, God.
But the way he says it, it's like, listen, we know the shit you do, just paint your pain away. Just paint the problems away because the problems aren't actually going away.
This whole final 10 minutes of this episode
is
like, I'm not going to lie, on par with like the end of Wicked, where I was just like, listen, let me talk.
Don't give the not me stands all of this.
I just was like,
diva.
Realization. Everyone acting.
Their whole faces off. Fully everyone is looking at Dan and being like, you have no power.
And everyone, oh my God, you have no power.
You have no power.
That's exactly, you have no power.
You have no power.
It's full, and every single person has a different reaction. It's incredible.
That is true. That is true to who their character is.
It's like the most like theater school. Like, okay, so how would your character react to this? Like, it's so fucking good.
But because Dan is being held by this man or whatever, and it's like, just paint your feelings away, blah, 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 blah. Nothing is actually going to change. And I hope that you understand that. If not, we'll talk to your family. Yeah. We'll basically like do this to your family. We'll threaten your family.
Yeah. We'll kill him,
yeah. And so then into the hospital, the scene, you just see all of that in Dan's face. But
this Gowan performance,
it's great. It's all in his face.
All
you
completely.
It's like you give the direct given circumstances of what he's going through in this moment right now, and he just has to be like,
he's weird in the beginning of the scene because you're like, well, he's definitely not on their side.
Yeah.
But he definitely led these guys here, so they know. So
he is just being like, I am sorry, this is the only... And he says it, he's like, this is the only way to know that they won't kill you.
I know.
It's get arrested right now. Otherwise, they will kill you.
So...
And Yok...
Oh my God.
This first breakdown...
I will tell you right now, I'm calling it. He's my MVP.
He is just weeping on this...
In this wheelchair.
Because he just got fucking shot.
For this cause.
And it's this is it's heart-wrenching because he just realized that at the end of the day, someone can still be threatened enough that they have to act, that they can still be scared enough to let you down. And I would say there is nuance in what First is doing here, that like he is aware. I think he knows, I mean, obviously not details, but he knows that Dan is in a position where he can't be strong enough to defend them.
Yeah. I like that none of he does. Here's what I like about the scene. Not much. Theoretically. I like that Dan does not go, they threaten, he doesn't try to explain it. He doesn't try to excuse it.
And he doesn't try to like do the reversal, the BL Station of the Cross, the reversal of the feelings, right? Where it's like, he basically is
I never liked you.
Yes, it'll be easier for you to just hate me because then you won't know the truth that I tried to protect you. It is just like an acceptance of what the situation is. And it's like, it's the only way to keep you alive.
And no one, not a soul wins in this.
I know.
Yok is weeping. Sean is like, I should have killed you when I had the chance. We already know that Dan is like suicidal, basically. Yeah. Like he's at such a low point in his life that he legitimately considered killing himself in front of Sean.
Yeah. He currently lives with so much guilt.
Yes. Gumpa, I mean, even Gumpa having like just like the disgust reaction. Graham spits in his face. And then White,
there is a knowing, like, because in White's VO, he's like, both Dan and I had an awakening in this whole experience.
In this whole 13 episodes, we both have gone through something.
We both have changed.
Yeah. But I was able to escape from, once I realized the privilege, I was able to crawl my way out of it. And Dan, he doesn't know what the circumstance with Dan is, but he's like, I feel sorry for Dan.
Yes, he says, I feel sorry for him because he can't.
He can't get out of it.
He can't get out. And it's Deus Ex Black.
It's Deus Ex Black. He comes in, busts some heads open.
And Dan does let him do it. Basically, he's like, all I can do is let you escape right now. Because someone came in. He takes care of that one guy.
Yeah,
he takes care of the one guy. And he's like, you have to go now.
He gets the smallest little redemption, like, footnote.
Basically.
So it's like clear to the audience that like he isn't evil. He's just in the worst circumstance. Yes, exactly. Probably of anyone in this group.
Yeah. Totally. Well, I don't know. Yok did get shot. And now
he'll be fine. And they all get in the elevator.
And White,
because White and Black are in the scene.
This body double is doing her best to be like,
just right.
Just making sure he's not in the camera.
I love it.
And people on Patreon were like, y'all, you took me out. It is so serious right now. It's so incredibly serious. And all I can picture is this body double trying to make sure he's not in the shot.
I'm surprised they didn't do like film White in the back just alone, and then move everybody in, change them into black outfit, and then move them all so that they when they layer the shot.
Yeah. Well, they only had 2 hours in this hospital hallway.
Yeah, so they had to do the whole thing in 2 hours. Yeah. It's really incredible. They shot this 14 episode show in 2.5 weeks. They don't talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
First is the MVP of this episode. I think everyone does really great work.
I think everyone does a really good job. I will give it to Gowan.
Yeah.
Especially for just the mess that he has to go through at the end.
I mean, the realization that they have known that he's Unar the whole time and have been like, well, you can have your little protests, little art. That's fine. That. But we're not going to let you do more than that.
Yeah.
It's so insidious.
I know.
It's actually so scary.
It's evil.
Yeah.
It's plain evil. Why don't you have a piece of bread? Maybe you'll feel better about it.
I won't feel better about this.
They literally said, why don't you go paint your little picture? Maybe you'll feel better about it.
Yeah. Let's not talk about what you want out.
Join us on patreon.com/boysloveboyslove. We will be watching the final episode next week of Not Me.
Holy hell.
And we will also start a new show for the Bows and the Bobs next week. The winner of the...
I think it's Universe League.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Universe League has won.
As of recording, that's what's in the lead. So...
Unless there are hidden 1,000 votes somewhere.
You stop the steal. Count the votes.
Yeah. So Universe League starts next week. And then after that, we'll do a new vote.
Yeah.
Because Not Me's going to be ending.
Yeah.
So you'll have to tune in next week to this recap to find out what those two choices are. Or join the Patreon. At the Bob level, we're watching Kin Porsche.
Oh my God. Boy, are we watching Kin Porsche. You know what? The first 3 episodes were so like nothing that I was like,
I was
why
like,
are people getting intense about this?
And then episode 4 happened. I was like, okay. But I don't think. We'll see. So far, I'm having a great time with the show.
Yeah, it's
There's
crazy.
a lot more funny than I thought there was gonna be.
It's a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be.
So I've really enjoyed that a lot.
Appo's great.
And Appo's great. Ooh. And we finally met Jeff Sater's character.
We did.
We finally met Jeff.
We finally met
so there you go.
Kim.
We know who Jeff Sater is now officially.
We do. Mm-hmm.
And then if you just want to hang out with, the K-pop girlies, then join the Beret level. We watch variety shows and all that good stuff. So great. Head over to the Patreon. And we'll see you next week for the last episode of Not Me. I can't wait, honey.
I know.